Hey guys, welcome back to the Twig Change Project. Today, I'm bringing you 3 mental health conditions that you've probably never heard about. And the best part about it is that all of these conditions are reasonably common, with over 2 million people having each one of them in America alone. So, if you enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and without further ado, let's talk obscure psychology. First, we have a commonly mistaken condition known as borderline personality disorder, or BPD for short, which is essentially a psychological condition which is characterized by unstable and erratic moods, emotions, self-image, relationships, and behaviors. I bet that sounds a lot like bipolar disorder, which is a much more widely known mood disorder with very similar symptoms. But did you know that BPD is almost double as common as bipolar, with 4.4 million Americans being affected by BPD, while only 2.3 million are affected by bipolar? Shocking, I know. But the next question you probably have is, why is BPD so much less recognized if this many people are affected by it? Well, the simplest answer I can give is that BPD is a lot harder to treat than bipolar. Yeah, for bipolar, you can just take meds. But for BPD, you actually have to go to a therapist and receive something called Dialectical Behavioral Therapy, or DBT, which is essentially a form of psychotherapy made specifically for BPD, where the patient learns to accept their emotional state, to be mindful about their emotional state in public, and to cope with their big emotions. It's not a perfect solution, but it definitely helps. Finally, the last question you might have is, what's the actual difference between bipolar and BPD? Well, my friend, the best answer I can give to that question is that BPD episodes are a lot shorter than bipolar episodes. Bipolar episodes can last almost weeks at a time, and they're characterized by intense depression and mania, whereas BPD episodes usually last like a few hours or so. However, the shifts in mood are a lot faster than that of bipolar, so there still needs to be awareness brought to BPD. Otherwise, millions of suffering people will never get the help that they need. The next condition I wanted to talk about is called depersonalization / derealization disorder, which is basically a persistent feeling of being outside of your body. You view life as if you're just like watching yourself on a movie screen. The sensation of derealization, what kind of makes up this whole condition, is feeling like you're detached from your environment. Your vision and other senses might even become distorted, and sometimes the people and objects in it also don't feel real. It's also commonly mistaken for the much more common dissociative identity disorder, or DID. However, DPDR is actually very different from DID, because with DPDR, you feel like a spectator. You feel like you're detached from the world. Whereas with DID, it's kind of like you have 2 personalities in one body. However, despite the low awareness of DPDR, about 2% of the adult population has it, which isn't much, but considering the fact that there's 8 billion people in the world, and that's still quite a lot if you think about it. Tens of millions of people have a condition that you didn't even know about before today. Of course, that's why you're here though, so thank you, dear viewer. I will do my best to educate you on these obscure but detrimental mental health problems. Haha, see what I did there? And also, I will make more content similar to this if you subscribe to the channel, because then I'll know that people like you are enjoying my videos. Thanks so much for y'all's support. Let's get into the last topic. The last condition that I wanted to talk about is pretty self-explanatory, but I still wanted to mention it because awareness on it is pretty terrible right now, and the condition in question is avoidant personality disorder, or AVPD. Avoidant personality disorder is definitely more common than you would think, with about 2% of American adults having it, which, considering the size of our population, is actually quite a lot. About 6 million people. The main symptoms of AVPD are an extreme fear of rejection to the point of choosing isolation instead, being oversensitive to criticism and disappointment from other people, having a bad self-image, seeing themselves as inferior to the rest of society. Interestingly enough, a lot of the reason that AVPD has such low awareness is that because the people with AVPD have become so withdrawn from society to the point that it's not really talked about in public anymore because there's no one in public to talk about it. Which is pretty ironic if you ask me, but it also clearly indicates the need for greater awareness of AVPD. That's all I got for y'all today. Hopefully you learned something new about mental health, and I would also like to ask you to please share this video with a friend. Yeah, because these topics I'm covering here really need more awareness, as well as topics that I didn't cover. Let's say that this video gets 10 likes. Can we do that? If this video gets 10 likes, I'll make another video covering 3 more mental health conditions that you've probably never heard about. So look forward to that. Remember, you're always loved and welcomed on this channel. Have a good one.